Good morning, happy friends. Even Star here in the shed at Hancock's House of Happy. It is Tuesday today, a hot and sunny and humid Tuesday here in Essex in the UK. I hope your week is off to a good start. I know mine is. Did my 10K walk yesterday. Feel very fit and healthy now. So I thought it was time for a little bit of a coffee time chat. Love my coffee time in the morning. Yes, indeed. And before I get started on today's topic, I just wanted to remind you that there is still time if you are wanting to sign up as a Patreon subscriber for $2 a month. There's still time to get one of these guys. Yes, one of my little paper bag bears. If you subscribe for $2 a month for a whole year, you'll be getting one of these guys in the mail. If you're one of my first 25 Patreon subscribers to stick with me for a whole year, and that's just $2 a month, and you get at least 3 exclusive cross-stitch designs per month for being an official Happy Friend, plus other digital fun things that I post up there on my Patreon. But today's topic, I've had some people asking me recently, it's like, your designs are really nice or they're really good. Why don't you sell them on Etsy? And I wanted to address this question because I've had many people ask me this question recently and all, over the years. And the reason I don't sell on Etsy is because I don't like Etsy. And I thought I'd maybe go over some of the reasons for that today. And now, before anyone gets mad at me, this is a safe space to discuss things. This is in no way meant to disparage anyone who does sell on Etsy or what you sell there. If you've had success on Etsy, you're amazing. Really good luck to you. Well done. I myself have dipped in and out of that platform almost since, better turn my phone off here before Mr. Bear calls me. To sell varying things, right? So to sell things like these guys, I also make ceramic animals like this little fella here. And over the years, I've dipped in and out of that platform, and generally have a little bit of hostility towards Etsy simply because their marketing when they first started out was really geared towards sellers. Their goal was to get as many people on their platform paying them fees as they possibly could by selling this quit your day job dream. Which, I never bought into that or believed in that. But that's really, they did the hard sell on to mostly women. The Etsy platform was really dominated by women artisans and makers for a very long time. I'm not sure if that demographic is still the case, but small female entrepreneurs who wanted to get a craft business going, they really did sell this quit your day job, work from home, look after your kids BS, to get as many people on that platform paying them fees as possible. And I didn't really like that as an ethos. I didn't think that was really right, because there's very few people selling on Etsy if you look at their entire population who actually did quit their day job and did set up a business on there and made a go of it. It's a very, very rare cases. So I generally used Etsy over the years because I'm old, right? I'm old, right? So I remember our life before internet, and Etsy was one of the first platforms where a maker could it's just basically the financial exchange, right? Someone wanted to buy something from me. Well, they lived on the other side of the world. Well, how do I do that? How do I get money from them easily, right? So, it was really easy to put a listing up on there. They pay and I send, right? So that's kind of what I've used it for mostly over the years. I have this whole thing, I don't like their fee structure where they charge you to list things, and they also charge you when you sell things. And in order to figure anywhere near in anyone's search results, you have to pay for that as well. They really are geared toward getting as much money out of the seller as possible. Until recently, they're now sort of marketing more towards buyers now, but that's very recent. And the whole thing, their business is built on getting as many people in there and selling them this really strange dream of making a living selling stuffed bears. I mean, as an artist, right, as a maker, I couldn't make enough bears in a year and sell them at a price people would be willing to pay to make a living, right? That's just not possible, right? You need a factory. And also over the years, they devalued the brand. When they started out, it was handmade stuff only, and because the population on there was smaller, they could police that, and people did get banned for selling stuff that was like obviously imported from China. But then they went public, and when you're a public company, you have to keep your shareholders happy, which means your shareholders have to believe that you are exploiting your product or platform as much as possible. So that means they opened it up to vintage resellers, and again, I have nothing against that, but if you're selling your platform as something for handmade stuff, direct from the artist, and then all of a sudden you open it up to vintage reselling stuff, that means that the market gets kind of flooded, and as a handmade artist, it's harder to stand out on that platform. And then they opened it up to craft supplies, so now you can sell stuff you just import from China, right? And again, I got nothing against that. There's a place for that. It's called Amazon, right? Or AliExpress. I don't think Etsy's the right place for that. And I think that, they really just sort of devalued the marketplace there. So me as a hand maker, designer, artist, I don't look at Etsy myself and say, gee, that's a really good place to put my handmade stuff when it's up against imported stuff and reselling vintage stuff. So those are like the main reasons. I don't, I never really went down the Etsy route. Again, I think their fee structure is crazy. The fact that you have to pay to list, you have to pay to sell, you have to pay to promote. Now, paying to promote, fair enough, right? There's no such thing as free publicity. But the fact that in order to rank in results and to have anybody take your store seriously, you have to have at least 30 listings in it. It can take, people over a year to sell one thing, right? If they're just getting their business off the ground. Which means you have to keep your store full for a year, which means you have to keep relisting your stuff, right? So if they just charge me once to list something, I'd say, fair enough, but your listing expires every 3 months and you have to pay them again, right? So to me, that's not a platform that's geared towards actually being very supportive of handmade artists the way they like to project themselves. So basically, I guess what it comes down to is I don't sell on Etsy because I think they're hypocrites, right? Now, I'm not a saint, but I'm not selling myself as anything. I do find the whole Etsy thing really hypocritical. And thank goodness there are more and better platforms on the market for artists and designers to sell their stuff. Which I think is why Etsy has, they have branched out into promoting to the buyer now, because they actually need people to buy stuff from Etsy in order to survive, because people like me who, don't like the platform, and became very disenchanted with the platform, have so many other options to sell their handmade things. Yes. So that's why I don't sell on Etsy, guys. And, if you would like to buy a paper bag bear, you don't want to sign up to Patreon, but you'd like a bear, message me on the Facebook page, and I can arrange a a PayPal link that you can send me money, and then I'll send you a bear. And it's the same for any of the Patreon cross-stitch charts. If you want to buy one of those cross-stitch charts that you've seen for Patreons but don't want to be a subscriber, just let me know. Message me on the Facebook page. There's like a link for Facebook Messenger there. I'm always monitoring that. You know, I tend to get back to people within a day and say, you know, I'd really like that design. Don't really want to sign up. Fair enough. Send me $5 and I'll send you the design, right? I used to sell my cross-stitch designs on a platform called Craftsy, and I don't know if any of you remember Craftsy. They were one of the first platforms that offered digital artists a place to sell their stuff. I mean, that was another reason why I didn't sell cross-stitch on Etsy, is because for a very long time they didn't have a facility for digital downloads, right? It was a case of you listed your thing, and then you had to email the person the design manually. It just didn't come out of the exchange, like what you'd kind of expect, right? It wasn't an instant, here you go. Which is what Craftsy did. You know, I put my stuff up on Craftsy, someone paid the money, and Craftsy facilitated the file exchange, right? I didn't have to do that. It was very automated, which was awesome. Unfortunately, Craftsy was bought by Blueprint, and they got rid of the digital file selling, pattern selling area of Craftsy when they took it all over. There is a message on there right now that says they're going to be bringing that back sometime later this year, so I might look at selling bigger charts on that platform later this year, if I have the content to do that and that facility is available. So I mean, I'm interested in your experiences. Do you sell on Etsy, and what's your experience there, or do you use some other platform to sell your handmade things or your digital art? I'd really be interested in knowing what that is, because I am just picking this up again after sort of many years of not doing it, and things in technology move very fast. So if you have success on one platform or another, tell us your secrets, right? Tell us in the comments, what are your secrets for success for handmade or artist internet e-commerce? So I think that's me being rambly enough for today. I'm like thirsty now because I've been talking for such a long time. And just a reminder that even if you don't want to subscribe on Patreon, you can still support my site and free cross-stitch designs simply by sharing my stuff on to internet, right? So pin it on Pinterest, share it with your cross-stitching friends, you know, tweet it, whatever all the cool kids are doing. I love Pinterest for sharing stuff like that. So yeah, share it, pin it, tweet it, Reddit it. And I hope that you are having a great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.